All right, guys, Shotty T here. This is part 2 of the update video. Ended up having to work through lunch today, so just waited till we got off work to go ahead and do this part. So we talked about the server update. So that was part 1, but part 2 is going to be these updates. I'm going to start from the top down. So let's go to the top. 3 versus 3 brawl fixes due to a server data error. Some commanders experiencing game display issues. So hey, diamond. So that's pretty quick. That's why I figured that was going to take long. All right, so let's go to this one. Oh, this one's quick too. Due to a server data error after the update on server time, some commanders experience a game freeze while plundering trade trucks. Hey, we'll take the diamonds because I didn't experience. But most importantly, let's do this update. This one is lengthy. All right. So, dear Commander, we are about to make several, and not just one, several adjustment to the rules of Desert Storm Battlefield. So make sure you take some notes, take heed to this. I believe, this will take place this week's Desert Storm this Friday, and I might actually do that as a live recording. Of course, I can't do live streams on YouTube because I don't have the equipment for that, but we're trying to build a channel. Capturing any building in Desert Storm Battlefield will no longer require time. So there's this building called, I think it's either the Science or the Info Center, one of the two. One of them decreases the time that it takes to capture a building. But now this is saying it's instant. So time you occupy, the building is captured. That's my interpretation of it. We'll see that live. And of course, we talked about the other Desert Storm updates with the commander, assigning 3 people and all that stuff. Check out that other video. All right, capturing any building in the Desert Storm Battlefield will no longer award initial capture points, which is huge. That way, if people are slow to get started, they're not instantly behind because they didn't get the first capture. Sometimes people like to strategically plan before they move. So I like that. After capturing any building in the Desert Storm Battlefield, battlefield points will start accumulating immediately. So obviously that ties in with that very first point. And the battlefield points generated within the first 60 seconds after capture cannot be plundered. So basically, you know how when you have a building that's occupied and you're gaining points and then it gets recaptured, and then you have these boxes come out that you can gain points yourself. What this is saying is that within the first 60 seconds, there will not be a box that'll just scatter out. It will only take place if that building's been captured for more than a minute. All right. Next, the effect of the Info Center, that's the building I knew it was the Info or the Science Center. So the effect of the Info Center, which used to decrease the time needed to the capture building. So that has been adjusted from that to increasing the point generation speed of all captured buildings. So that makes the Information Center very important to have. It doesn't generate points by itself like being captured, but it's like a force multiplier. So the Info Center is very important, and every building has either buffs or importance to hold. But yeah, so that makes the Info Center definitely a building to hold on to as much as possible. All right, and I definitely see some strategy to some of these updates that definitely going to discuss within my alliance. So let's see. The information display when selecting a building has been improved, adding specific values for protection points and plunderable points produced by the building, as well as information on the point generation speed. So that'll help when you're trying to capture a building there. So yeah, this changes Desert Storm quite a bit. So let me see if this is here, because some of you guys, I probably did a Desert Storm video a while ago as far as explaining the basics of it, and we do actually have to finish registration before this is over. So these are all the updates, and also the battlefield as of last week's update, will be shortened from 40 to 30 minutes. It didn't take place last week because it was still some bugs. So now, just to supplement the update, it'll be 30 minutes, and the resource points will be awarded faster, which we just talked about, and improved building selection view, which we just talked about there. All right, so we'll confirm that. All right, so let's see if we can find it here. So let's just remind you guys what these structures do. So now that we have the update, the info center, we just talked about that. So let's go to that first. The info center becomes available at the start, capturing it boosts point output efficiency by all capture building by 10%. All right, so that's, again, that adds up over time. In 30 minutes, that's a lot of time. So just keep that in mind. The field hospitals, pretty straightforward. There are 4 hospitals in the entire battleground. So each time you capture those, you get a small amount of battlefield points. It allows commanders to recover injured units faster. So the more hospitals you capture, the more units you can heal. You can heal for free. You don't want to use resources in this structure, right? And so like I said, there are 4 hospital buildings. There's only 1 info center. The science hub, which I referred to earlier, it will also be there at the beginning. You get a small amount of points, but it reduces the cooldown so you can teleport quicker. So even though you don't get a lot of points per capture, it's still good to have that movement advantage by capturing that science hub. The oil refinery, it also is open at the beginning. It doesn't give you any buffs, but what it does, it gives you a large amount of battlefield points. So if you have that in combination of the info center, you're generating a lot of points per minute, and that's open at the very beginning, and there are 2 of those. All right, the nuclear silo, that opens in the middle. That's another building that does not give buffs, but it gives a lot of points. So imagine having this and the 2 oil refineries with that info center. You're getting a lot of points for your alliance. So again, we're going to talk about this in our group. And then the last 2 buildings are the arsenal, and this opens the same time that the nuclear silo opens. Like, these are the 3 buildings that are in the middle of the map. So the arsenal will open. Capturing that significantly boosts your hero's attributes, and it actually boosts hero attack and defense and health pool by 15%. And then the mercenary building, I'm not sure, I think the arsenal is at the top and the mercenaries at the bottom. You got the nuclear silo in the middle of those 2. The mercenary, what that does, it reduces enemies' hero attack defense by 15%. So imagine having both of these. You're having more attack. The opponent has less defense. So it gives you a significant attack overall advantage. So every building has its benefits of being captured. Obviously, it's hard to capture all at once unless there's some strategy or some just natural strength advantage. And sometimes there's just natural mismatches where there's nothing you can do. Even with perfect planning, you're still going to lose if all things are equal participation wise, because numbers do matter too. All right, and then of course these are other ways to capture points. When you do change ownership of a box of a building, these boxes will pop up. We just talked about that, but not within the first 60 seconds. But after 60 seconds, these boxes will pop, and you can use your scout plane to collect those boxes for points. So that adds to your team total. And then the oil well will open much later. It'll be like a green patch on the map. You can use that to gather some oil for some points. Usually you kind of do that when you're very low on troops and all you can do is go for oil, or if you got control of the matter, you just want to pad your lead to get more. So yeah, these Desert Storm updates are awesome. Obviously, we have 2 different task force. We're going to check our participation to see if we're going to do 2 this week or just 1. And I have an inbox. Not sure if it's a subscriber or if it's something else, because my DM's been blowing up because of some things that we've been having going on in our server. But I'm confident this will be resolved. But yeah, guys, what do you think about the Desert Storm update? The other updates wasn't really too crazy. I just took the free diamonds for those. So make sure you collect those diamonds. Anyway, so let me know what you think in that comment section below. Like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification.